Welcome everybody, my name is Marcus and today we're going to be talking about some of the biggest movies that were supposed to come out in 2020 that we just didn't get. I know last year was a crazy year and we probably forgot about a lot of these movies, but I'm super excited for them to come out this year, along with all the other movies that were already scheduled to come out in 2021. So this year is going to be jam-packed with movies and I'm super excited.
Life is good, but it can be better.
All right, so this was, I think, one of the first movies that was really affected by the shutdowns and delays of all the movie releases was A Quiet Place 2. You know, I thought the first one was amazing. John Krasinski's directorial debut was absolutely incredible. You know, had no expectations about the movie, but when I watched it, I was like, wow, this is amazing. He did an amazing job and he acted in it. Emily Blunt did an amazing job. I think that scene in the bathtub was so intense, you know. And the other thing I realized is how loud the movie theater can be. You know, everyone was dead silent, but you hear people opening their snacks, you hear them eating popcorn, slurping on their drinks. It was a very different experience for it to be so dead quiet in the movie theater, and you hear everything, every little creak, and the movie just had everyone on the edge of their seat. I've honestly never experienced that in a movie theater, so I was super excited to see the second one. The trailer looked pretty intense. I thought what was cool is the trailer kind of got into how it all started. You know, the first one starts out, it's already existed for a while. They don't really give any backstory. But what it looks like from the trailer is it kind of shows more of what initially happened when the monsters first showed up, which would be really interesting. I think the trailer scene where the monster's coming out of the bus, looks pretty awesome. You know, you don't quite notice it at first, but it's just really well done. I was really excited for it. So when I found out they're delaying it, major disappointment. I don't quite know when it's going to be released yet. At this point, I don't know when movies are coming out. Hopefully it does come out this year. I'm pretty sure it will, because it's basically wasting money at this point. But super excited about it. You know, I'm glad to see John Krasinski's going to be in it again, even though it'll probably be flashbacks. Adding new characters in, seeing how the family progresses after that crazy ending. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, you know. It kind of alludes that humans are going to be kind of other monsters, and that's always the case, especially with post-apocalyptic stories, zombies, all of that. It's kind of what we're used to.
The people that are left, they're not the kind of people worth saving.
But super hyped about it, so that's definitely a huge movie I'm looking forward to in 2021. All right, so the next movie that I was super hyped about is The Kingsman. You know, I loved the first two Kingsman movies, so this one kind of takes it back. At first I was like, oh man, I'm a little disappointed because one of my favorite parts about it was the modernization of the spy world and kind of all their cool gadgets and everything. And then this one's taking it back a while, so it's, you know, they haven't even really invented parachutes yet.
It's called a parachute. It means that one can jump out of a plane safely.
So I was a little disappointed with that part, but the action looks intense. I think Matthew Vaughn does an amazing job with his action movies, so I know he's going to take it to the next level with this. You know, it's a shame we won't get to see Eggsy anymore, but it'll still be kind of cool to see the origin of the Kingsman organization. I did hear they're planning to make a Kingsman 3 at some point, so that'll be good because the second one left it off where I really wanted to see more about the statesman and all of that. So I'm excited. Definitely want to see how the origin works out. The action's going to be super intense. It has some really cool actors in it that I'm looking forward to. So I definitely don't think I'll be disappointed with it. It is disappointing that we had to wait a whole year for it, but you know, hopefully it's worth the wait. So another movie that I'm looking forward to that really fell under the radar as it is, so a lot of people might not have even expected it, but the movie's Morbius. If you guys don't really know, it takes place in the Spider-Man world. He's kind of an anti-hero villain, mostly to Spider-Man, but I know that he kind of turns good as well. He basically is a living, breathing vampire. So to kind of see another movie and expand the Spider-Man universe is going to be really interesting. I really like Jared Leto as well. I think he's perfect to play a vampire. So I think that movie is going to be quite surprising. I think people will have low expectations going into it, but I think it'll really surprise people. I'm really excited to see where it goes with the Spider-Man universe. It's a little confusing because it appears that it takes place in the Sam Raimi Spider-Verse. However, they talk about it relating to Tom Holland. So in general, I'm super hyped about these Spider-Man movies because they really are going to build a Spider-Verse. I hear talks of Tobey Maguire coming back, Andrew Garfield, some of the iconic villains in the Spider-Man 3. We do know that Venom and Carnage are going to show up in the next Venom movie. So the Spider-Man universe in itself is becoming huge. So I'm really excited to see what happens with that. And Morbius is also going to kind of kick that off. Rumors of like a Sinister Six movie coming out. So kind of adding Morbius into the whole group of villains that Spider-Man already has and kind of having them all return is definitely going to be interesting for Spider-Man. So I'm definitely excited about it. Morbius is definitely a character a lot of people don't know about, so I think it'll be good to kind of shine light on that. The other part is it's bringing vampires back into the MCU, which, as you know, I'm sure you've heard, they are going to be remaking Blade and adding him to the MCU with Mahershala Ali, who is another actor that I love. So it's going to be super exciting. You know, the universe is ever expanding, and I think they're going to do some crazy stuff. I think Infinity War Endgame was amazing, but I think they're going to ramp it up even further, so I can't wait. So once again, look for Morbius to come out. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people, and I'm super excited for it. The next movie that I was really looking forward to coming out, and it's a bummer that we've had to wait this long, is Black Widow. I know it's crazy because, spoiler, she died in the MCU, but here they are coming out with her origin. You know, it's kind of out of order in that sense because we're going to fall even more in love with the character, and then it's sad because we know that she's dead. But it looks like a badass action movie. It's really cool. The villain, Taskmaster, is really going to push her to her limits, and if you guys don't really know him as a villain, he's actually pretty interesting. He's able to basically copy any martial arts style, any fighting style basically of any character. He kind of just copies them through like a photographic memory. So as you see in the trailer, he kind of copies a lot of the combat Avengers, Black Panther, Captain America, Black Widow herself, Hawkeye. You know, he's able to copy all those styles and master them, so he can basically fight the Avengers with his own style. So with their own styles. So it's super exciting. It's gonna be really cool to see him and how he challenges Black Widow. The other part is with the Red Room and all the other assassins, because as we know, Black Widow came from a group of assassins. And I'm excited to see Florence Pugh kind of play another assassin. You know, they're supposed to be sisters. I don't know if it's true sisters or they're just referring to just the sisterhood of the assassins. In the comics, I don't think they're related, but it looks like they have their own little family with Rachel Weisz and David Harbour. I love David Harbour. It's nice to see him since Stranger Things and the bust of Hellboy. So I'm excited to see him kind of play a more redeeming role with this. I'm sure they're going to do a great job with it. But I was really excited about this movie. I've heard rumors, you know, I don't know, but Yelena, Florence Pugh's character, I hear maybe she's taking up the mantle. I don't think they would cast her in just one movie for her not to come back. So I'm pretty positive she's going to come back in another movie as well. Super exciting. And the MCU just continues to give us more and more with all the Disney Plus shows. It's just growing so much. So they just have so much potential. So I feel like even though this is going back into the past with post-Civil War, I think she's still going to add a lot more to the future of the story, or they're going to tie in more to the MCU in the future. So it's not going to be just kind of a flashback movie. I feel like there's going to be connections that we don't know about yet. So super exciting. Definitely excited for it to come out this year. I think it might even come out on Disney Plus. We'll see. I don't really know the state of movie theaters and all of that. So that's going to be kind of up in the air, but super excited to see it. All right, so another movie that I was really looking forward to was the next James Bond movie, No Time to Die, starring Daniel Craig, Ana de Armas, and Rami Malek. I think they're all amazing actors, and I love James Bond movies. I personally think Casino Royale was one of the best James Bond movies ever. I love that movie. Ava Green does an amazing job as Vesper in that, and I just thought that movie was perfect. I am a big poker fan too, so I really love that aspect of it. And Daniel Craig, I think, is a really good James Bond. I know he gets a lot of hate. That movie also went against the grain of your typical James Bond movies, but I loved it. So I'm very excited about this new James Bond. I hear it might be his last one, so hopefully they can deliver it with a bang. Hopefully it's the best one, and I'm really excited for it. Okay, so there's a couple other ones that I won't go into too much detail with, but you know, Top Gun Maverick, I was surprised they made a sequel. That should be interesting. Tom Cruise is always entertaining.
I have to admit, I wasn't expecting an invitation back.
And Top Gun is a classic. You have the next Halloween movie. I thought the Halloween that came out was really good. I really liked they kind of kicked out all the other Halloween movies. They said this is a direct sequel to John Carpenter's Halloween. Thought they did a really good job. It was nice to see Jamie Lee Curtis back in the movies. And I'm excited to kind of see where it goes because unfortunately, Michael Myers never dies, so it's going to continue on. But this should be an interesting continuation of the first, or I guess the second one, with this new storyline. The other movie that I was kind of intrigued with, who knows if it's going to be good, was Jungle Cruise. You know, it's a Disney movie. It's a ride at Disneyland. You have The Rock, Emily Blunt. We'll see how it is, but you never know. There's a couple other random ones like Death on the Nile. That one looked kind of interesting. We'll see. It looks like a kind of whodunit. Then there's Ghostbusters Afterlife with Paul Rudd. I hear they're gonna bring most of the original cast back from the Ghostbusters movies, so that should be interesting. I don't know if it'll be good, but it'll be entertaining. And then they're also gonna do a Candyman remake. It looks pretty dark, very scary. We'll see if it's good or not, but you know, another movie to add to 2021. All right, so that kind of wraps up all the movies that I'm looking forward to that were supposed to come out in 2020 and now scheduled for 2021. I'm not gonna go into the movies that are scheduled already for 2021 because that's gonna be a whole different list, but hopefully you like this video. Hopefully I reminded you of some upcoming movies. I'm super excited about it. 2021 is gonna be crazy with movies. There's gonna be so many movies, which is great because we need it after last year. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy it, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe. That way I can keep making great content for you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.